Happy Monday, everyone. March 25th. This is day one of Magic Week. We've got 7 full days. We have a long month, 31 days, but remember, Easter Sunday is thrown in there. So hopefully we can rock and roll with goals and get everything, sealed with a bow by Saturday for your goals so you can just enjoy a holiday weekend with your family, whether you're like finishing spring break, starting spring break, everybody does it different. But I'm super excited, super motivated. So we've got a lot going on. Obviously, we still have the free reset going. We have the Apple Watch incentive. Drop in the comments or wave and jump up and down if you already have earned your Apple Watch 9 series. I am still working on it. I am super excited, however, that I've been working and signing some new level 2s. So that's good job, Yvonne. So that is something that I'm also digging deep into helping level 1s share for the first time and kind of, growing that way. So I've been working very intentionally on that. Catherine, you've got one more. Marie has earned 2, which means you have enrolled 12 people. So I should probably let you lead this power hour. Let me scroll through all the names. Marie, great job. You don't have your camera on, but if you want to drop in the chat, like one tip for what is working well for you, 12 people in the first 25 days of that is absolutely amazing. And congratulations on that. So that is super exciting. So I know sometimes when we talk about goals, there you go, bold conversations, which I will jump to if you guys are keeping up with the Rising Star Diamonds. Celeste Gwynn was today, who is our #1 top earner in the company. She is a 16-star legacy diamond. And it was such a good reminder. She said she assumed a whole bunch of people knew what she was doing. And several of her star leaders needed an actual, hey, you've seen what I've been doing, but I'm personally inviting you to come join me on this journey. And so some of her top leaders are people that she personally invited and said, I want you to do this with me. So I want you guys to put that in your back pocket. You need to make sure to watch the Rising Star Diamond, which I put in our chat. And then her homework, and she's giving away like the prize of all prizes. So if you've never been able to purchase a Valentino purse, jump over and do the homework for today with Celeste and get your name entered into that giveaway, because that's pretty impressive. But I know when we're talking about goals and all of the things, how many of you, me included, I get that little twinge of, oh gosh, I haven't earned it yet. Or, oh my goodness, I start comparing to, well, what are they doing that I'm not, right? That's just an immediate response. One of the things that in this Star Diamond group they've been talking about, now you guys know me and you know I love my books and you know I have multiple books at any given arm's length. This has been in my shopping cart for more than a year. And I have not pulled the trigger on buying it. I'm like, okay, I think I'm ready. And I am going to be completely honest with y'all, okay, which I usually am. 13 years in this business. When Celeste talks about you have to have a marathon mindset, let me tell you what, if you get to like mile 22 and you're like, what in the world have I decided to commit to? And you know, like your body is not going to keep going. What have you signed up for? You've got to, make it those 26.2 miles to say you finished your marathon. That can be daunting. So whether you're on mile 2 and you're like, I haven't paced myself yet, or you're on mile 22 and you're like, I don't think I can take one more step. This book has been so transformative. I'm literally only like, I'm still in the introduction. And this morning, I was like, it's one of those where every sentence was like knocking me upside the head, because there's one of those, it was just one of those moments where I'm like, I'm always looking ahead, like the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And 13 years in, I have gotten in a really bad habit of comparing myself and looking side to side and saying, well, I don't have the watch yet. And look at all these people who have earned the watch. And I'm realizing that it's not a healthy mindset. So I want to share with you, I really feel like these 2 pages that I'm going to read to you might be somebody on here needs to hear this, because whether you've just joined and maybe just been sharing and haven't even enrolled your first VIP, or maybe you've hit gold or senior gold and now you've, slimmed back a little bit and it feels a little bit overwhelming to get back there, whatever the case might be, I think this mindset shift is something that is key. And I'm big on mindset, but I'm also big on let's get our butts in a chair and get to work, which is where this power hour was even formed, right? So that we can work together and hold each other accountable. I want you to listen to this for a second and listen to this and think about, have maybe I been comparing myself to the wrong thing? Because this absolutely shifted everything for me. Measuring yourself against an ideal is an endless race to nowhere. That ideal could be in the form of a hope or an expectation. It could be a comparison with something or with somebody else, something as simple as her raise was bigger than mine. Being in the gap mindset stops you from living within your own experience. It stops you from appreciating where you are, and it stops you from being happy. As Gregor McGowan put it, if you focus on what you lack, you lose what you have. If you focus on what you have, then you can gain what you lack. When you're in the gap, you lose what you have. The gap makes every experience a negative, which means you're worse off than you were before that experience. The gap makes any form of progress a letdown, and whatever you've done isn't enough because the standard of success keeps moving. The gap makes you a tyrant when all you can see is where you aren't measuring up. Now, I will tell you, a lot of people who find network marketing and a lot of people who find success in network marketers and marketing are high achievers. And high achievers are known to always be moving that bar on themselves, right? You hit one thing and you don't even enjoy that you just hit silver because now you already want to know, how do I get to senior silver, right? You're just like next, 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 next. This book is encouraging a pause and a reflection on, well, where have I gotten to? I need to enjoy that I've actually made some progress because I'm not where I started. And I have a story about that in a little bit. So I'm going to skip ahead really quick because then we need to learn really quick about the gain. When you're in the gain, you're measuring yourself to where you've been, where you started. So let's just say that the starting point is 1 and your goal is 30, but you only get to 22. If you are focusing on the gain, then you see the actual progress that you've made, right? You've moved 22 steps up. But if you're in the gap, you see that you've fallen 8 steps short. Being in the gain means that you measure yourself backward against where you were. We all have countless experiences in life. The question is, are we truly valuing those experiences, or are we comparing our experiences to somebody else? When you're in the gain, you value your experiences, all of them. The gain is about the measurables and not the ideals. Let's see. So this, I only have a pencil. If I had a red pen, this whole thing, like I'm like underlining and all the things. When you're in the gain, you focus on what you've actually done. So, and then he goes on to talk about the fact that if you stay in the gap, everything is going to be perceived as negative. Everything. So when an experience is framed in the gap, you haven't learned from it yet. You haven't taken ownership of it. Until you actively learn from your gap experience, you will be stuck. You won't be able to move forward until you frame your experience to a gain. It literally takes a physical, conscious effort to say, how am I going to frame this experience and what does it mean for me? Until you choose to be grateful for the experience and better off because it happened. It says, once you can get yourself into that gain mindset, you become better. You're no longer bitter. You're grateful for every experience. You're living your life based on your own success measurements, which you have chosen for yourself. Everything in life happens for you, not to you, and nothing can stop you as long as you transform every experience into a gain. Last thing. It says, by defining your own measure of success and by actively growing through your experiences, you'll continually be shocked at how far you come. It literally, that's page XXX. Like, it's not even, this is still the first 4 pages of just the introduction. And I think if I read just that every day for the next year, I will be doing good. So Dr. Benjamin Hardy, so many jewels have recommended that. One of my team members, Shannon, actually found it and was talking about it last year. And I was like, Yes, I think a Zoom study of this book would be absolutely incredible. So let me share with you this. That's just the first few pages of the intro. Let me share with you this. I have a Plexus customer. It's actually one of my mom's customers, and she's also an insurance agent. And I don't think, knew that she was doing this gap gain experiment, but something that she shared with me stuck with me. I'm a story person, and it just absolutely stuck with me. And I think about it all the time. As an insurance agent, she was making like house calls, physical knocks on doors, chats with people. And after every house call, she would go sit in her car and she had a notebook and she would say, were they open to what I had to say? Did they become a new customer? If yes, what did I say that opened up that conversation? If no, maybe what did I say that turned that into a no? And every single conversation that she had, she journaled about, was it positive? Was it negative? Was it a successful outcome? Did I not have success, and why? And conversation after conversation after conversation, she started to realize, if I do more of XYZ, I'm trending towards them saying yes to what I'm offering. But when I do this, those are the customers that say no. How many times have we sent messages or had conversations and we're like, oh my gosh, I was so thinking that they were going to say, yes, I need this, what you have to offer, and they don't. So did we talk too much? Did we not end with a question or a strong call to action? Do we not have influence in that relationship? Like all of this kind of reflection. But then if you filter it through this, if I have 100 conversations and 0 people say yes, that can still be putting you in the gain, because the gain is you have the experience of what those 100 conversations did for you. You have the experience and the lessons from, somebody who has not had any conversations. But the gap mentality would be, oh my gosh, I'm such a loser. I just talked to 100 people and all of them said no. What's wrong with me, right? Can you see the difference in I'm going to fail forward and I'm going to learn and grow, versus beating yourself up and always comparing yourself? Well, I've been influenced, but yes, I usually pass along, and I am very big on personally vetting things that I recommend. So of course, I wanted to buy it. I wanted to start reading it. I asked a few other leaders about it. Some of the other books that he's written, I've listened to podcasts. How to 10x versus 2x. I've talked about that on here before. That's the same author. So anyway, I really feel like even if I only read for 10 minutes this morning, 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes, and I'm like, let's do this. Let's conquer the world, right? So that was kind of my little tip for you. Are you in a gap mentality, thinking about where you're not and how far you need to be to reach where you want to be? Or can you shift that to the game and say, even if you have one new VIP, there are people in this world who don't have any new VIPs. You still are in the gain, for you've shared, you've done enough to say, yes, this is something that I would like for somebody to do with me. And they have said yes and, ordered from you. So shifting that perspective. And then the great thing is, once you get into this gain mindset, I think toward the end of that chapter, he talks about you just keep going. There's no comparing yourself to other people. Oh, I'm not going to take the time to find it, but he talks about, here. The more you're in the gain, the less you will compare, compete, or even care about what other people are doing or think about you. How many of you want to be in that? Like, sign me up for that, where I can just hit my goals and rock and roll moving forward and not worry about what anybody else is doing or thinking, right? So anyway, that's my 2 cents. So as it pertains to Magic Week, I wanted to kind of remind you, winning the day, you're sowing your seeds for later, you're adding value, you're doing the happy birthdays, you're painting the vision for 3 people, all of those typical power half hour winning the day things. Specific to Magic Week, I want to remind you, this is one of the things that we regularly do, and that Shannon did so good writing down in a post for us on our team page. But she was really saying, listen, for your call to action, like, let's go. We need 3 buckets of people. You need your list, and I'm huge on lists, and you guys know that. Who are all the people that have commented, raised their hand, said, yes, I'd like more information. All of the potentials are people who have said, what is that? but have not yet ordered. Those are people that we need to be touching base with, reaching back out to. You guys know sometimes it takes 8, 12, 15, 200 conversations before they're like, oh, yes, timing's good and I need what you have. We still do have some Sweet Tea Slim, the free reset. So reopening conversations, anybody that is on your list of people who have raised their hand but have yet to order. The next one, do you guys have new VIPs or level ones who have not yet taken that first step to share their referral link? Who are those people that you need to be reaching out to and say, hey, can I do a messenger chat for you? Do you have any, would you be willing to do a shout out post and say, because of, Plexus, thank you, Sarah, for sharing. I have XYZ going on in my life and I'm so grateful. Really encouraging people to take that first step or next step. Don't forget the people who already said yes, who are already sitting there in your back office. Those are hot, wonderful relationships that you can maybe help baby step them to the next step for what that is. And then the third bucket would be if you are growing a team and let's say you have a silver with 35 pay points, helping them understand that just three more people and they will be hitting that next goal of senior silver. Or you've got somebody pushing for a big rank and you're like, hey, can I do a Zoom for you? What are the things that we can do? A lot of times we kind of are juggling so many things with personally recruiting to get our personal goals that we forget that we might have people who need to take that first step or that next step. So having those lists of people, if you do not have a list, if you do not have a full funnel, if you do not have a list of 9 people who have said, hey, Sarah, I'm interested in what you have, who have not actually enrolled yet, that's where you're putting out a social media post, which was in Celeste's challenge for the Rising Star Diamonds. Put out a post, do some stories, make a reel. I'm going to change it. I don't have it on gallery view. I'm going to change it to gallery view. How many people were actually on last night's opportunity call or on with a guest or even know what I'm talking about with the Sunday night calls that are being. So first of all, if you were on or had a guest, congratulations. I see all of you waving your hands. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, please let me know so that I can kind of do a quick recap. I posted in my stories the graphic, sent out some personal messages, and at like 7:57, 3 minutes before the call, I was like, I don't have anybody who's actually getting on this call. Sent out 2 quick messages. One of my gals was like, hey, awesome. Thank you for reminding me. I am going to jump on. She jumped on, messaged me after. She said, that was the best call ever. How do I sign? How do I join? All I had to do was invite and follow up, and the call did the work. I think it was 18 minutes, you guys. I mean, so the graphics are being posted on our diamond, our big company diamond page and trickling down, I think, to the jewel page. So if you have a jewel upline who is doing has a team page for you guys. Otherwise, I will try. You guys, somebody hold me to it. I will try to post. Sometimes I feel like I overpost. So I think I did not put it in this Power Hour messenger chat, but I'll try to remind you guys. But every Sunday night at 8, all of the One Plexus diamonds are working together to do these opportunity calls for you guys. And it's absolutely just been incredible. So are you inviting? Are you reaching out? Did you miss the call? You could still message and say, hey, I just got the recording to this call that was last night. Would you be open to watching it if I send it your way? And that's great. No, we have these calls booked all the way through July right now with leaders and team members who are working on filling the calendar all the way through. So as long as we've got people who can keep leading them, and Melissa Eichenhorst is the one that has spearheaded that with all of the systems. It's a script. You get on, you get off. I think we're off Sunday for Easter, correct? Yes. And I believe a bunch of people are going to be traveling for that June Sunday for convention. So I will repost some of that for you guys. So I am going to wrap up by saying it's Magic Week and anything's possible. I want everybody to take 5 minutes and put yourself in a gain mindset. Think about square one when you said yes, whether it was just for the products or just for the opportunity. What does that look like? And I want you to remind yourself that this is something that is super, super life-changing. And it may just be one of those things where we have to sit down and say, yes, I have had this opportunity to share with this many people, and put yourself in that gratitude moment of the gain and where you were when you started, even if it's only a health testimony. Um, and then you can get to work in that area and place of gratitude and saying, thank you for the lessons that I've learned. Thank you for the painful experiences that I'm not going to be bitter about anymore. I'm going to take that as a life lesson, right? All of those things, whatever the case might be. So that was super, super helpful. So we are going to wrap up quick so that I want you guys to stay focused on your um, plan for getting work done. It needs to be personal messages, personal invites, personally picking up the phone and inviting people and saying, hey, you've probably seen what I've been posting about for the last 5 years, but I've never actually taken 2 minutes to call you because I think you would be amazing at this. Would you be open to hearing about it and doing it with me? Those kind of conversations, just like Celeste said, are some of the best when somebody, my husband and I got a little bit of a disagreement this weekend. It's like, all I need is to feel seen and heard. You make eye contact with me and actually prove to me that you're listening. But if somebody called me and said, I see you for XYZ reasons, and I value you for XYZ reasons, and that's why I'm calling you because I want to invite you to do this with me, I have to tell you, I would feel seen and heard and valued, and would, even if it's a no, I would probably still take a look at what they were offering because they actually personally took the time to invite me to that. So I hope that's a little bit of a perspective shift for you as you're getting into your income producing activities in your, magic week, work week. For if we get into that mode of desperation, like, hey, I'm calling, I need an order from you because I'm 2 away from me earning my own Apple Watch, right? How does that sound? That doesn't sound great. Right? But hey, I was thinking about you. I know you've had some health struggles. We've got some discounts, and I would love for you to get started on some of these products, something that's a little bit friendlier for your budget. Would you be open to hearing about the March specials and discounts that we have going on? That is so much better. And so, who are you messaging? Do you have those 3 buckets of people? And then I will fill our Power Hour chat. If you are not in our Power Hour Messenger chat, it's just easier for me to dump stuff there than to try to switch over and copy it to this Zoom chat. Please message me and I will check my other folder. I will get you added to the Power Hour Messenger chat, and then we will rock and roll. I'll put these 3 buckets of people that you guys should be talking to and what you should be saying. And if you don't know what to say, get on the corporate Zooms for Monday Motivation, because every single week is perfect scripts from top leaders in our company for what they're saying to get results. So thank you guys so much for jumping on. I so appreciate it. Just the smiling faces. If you are in the One Plexus Ambassador community page, that's where all of those corporate Zooms get streamed. We have Monday Motivation, and then a Tuesday training, and then a Welcome to Plexus on Wednesdays. So corporate does a great job of giving us every tool and resource that we need. So thank you guys so much. And I'll post the recording so you guys can share it with anybody that needs it. Talk to you guys later.